informed. You're listening to the KATcast, a weekly podcast from the staff you love to listen to each weekday on 94.3 Cat Country. Killian Hart and Jordan J. Now, here they are, talking about life, love, and everything mid-Missouri.
Yes, indeed. It's another KATcast. We're talking jobs today. Worst job you ever had? Jobs you kind of tolerated, I guess, more than anything. You know.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I guess I could start.
Okay.
Jordan has the least jobs that he's hated, probably just because of your age.
Just because of age, right? Just because of age. So my, let's see. I'm trying to think. My very first thing that I did, I watched a kid. So I guess babysitting. It was like the easiest thing I'd ever did, man.
Real. Now, you know what's funny? When you say babysitter, most babysitters are girls.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm a parent and I'm going to hire a babysitter, I'm not going to hire a guy. Nothing against guys. I'm just saying that to me, that seems more like a girl thing.
Yeah, no.
And you're going to trust them more with girls.
It was so, there was this.
Which is probably a mistake.
Yeah.
Hey.
No,
I'm just saying.
I used to watch him all the time. This little kid would always play with my sister all the time, and then that's kind of, we knew him as they were family friends.
Oh, so okay.
They knew who I was.
You weren't hired.
Yeah. I wasn't just hired out of the blue.
It wasn't like Jordan joined the Babysitters Club.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I'm for hire.
Because you are right. Women are probably going to get hired over me, right? But
hey, girl, hey.
But it was the
I
easiest
don't
thing.
know. I babysat, you know, as a preteen and teen. So we'll ask Kevin. Hey, Kevin, who would you trust more, me or Jordan?
Ooh. Jordan, I'm gonna have to say Aaron.
I would say
and it's
Aaron,
nothing
too.
against you.
I know.
I'm just saying that again. I think the estrogen, the female angle of it, I think is
You might not get your child
sort
back.
of
I will say, though,
almost a maternal
I was
thing.
gonna say.
It was the easiest cash of all time, especially too when like and here's the thing, like they would go out on a date or something and they'd be like, hey, can you come watch them at our house? We'll pay you. You know, but I had some extra responsibilities, right? I had to get him to bed. I had to do whatever.
Sure.
All that
I had to take care of their dog, stuff like that. But essentially, like I got there, he was up for like 30 minutes, got into bed, and then it was just me playing with a dog in someone's house,
Watching
getting
TV.
paid, watching
Xbox or
TV,
whatever,
and
yeah.
eating free snacks. And they'd pay me pretty generously.
Yeah.
They'd come back like midnight, 1 o'clock, and then all of a sudden they, you know.
I gotta tell you, that's a pretty good gig.
That is.
And then they're like, you know, oh, hey, here's a little extra money for staying a little later
Nice.
or something. You know what I mean? So they paid me really well. It's the easiest money ever, honestly. But
that's not your worst job, obviously.
No, it wasn't my worst job. It wasn't my worst
It sounds
job.
like it might have been your best job, even better than this.
That was
I
my
don't know.
best. No. But
He was like, now that I think about it.
No, I was just trying to think because that was probably that was one of my first jobs that I've done. Worst job? Oh man, I don't even know.
It doesn't have to be in radio. I mean, it's obviously.
I don't know
it's
if
like
I had like
in
the
your whole
worst
working
job.
career.
I've actually liked every job I've had. Really.
Wow, you're fortunate, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't had like a job. Well, because like I haven't had a job where like the boss was really terrible. I hated I couldn't stand
Hated
to be
the
there.
conditions, the hours.
I've never really
and
had
nothing.
that situation. I could tell you what I would be doing if I wasn't doing this. I just don't really have like an actual.
We might get to that.
job
We might get to that in
situation.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. For me, worst was dental assistant. Just because, and I did it for 4 months, and it had nothing to do with, you know, people or their teeth, or I found all that fascinating. You know, people were great, teeth were great. I am a stickler for a schedule.
Yeah.
And the person I worked for was not.
Oh my gosh.
So when I would have to call people and say, hey, we're running, you know, an hour, 2 hour, 3 hours behind, you know, and they would say, oh, are you serious? Well, are you just moving us back? Are you moving us to? No, we're just moving you back. And that's just it. You never knew when you were going to get off work.
Mm-hmm.
People would
that would
come
drive
in.
somebody like you crazy. I can see
Yes.
that. Yes.
People would come in, be ticked off at me, but then, you know, get into the dentist chair and be all hunky-dory and everything's fine and roses. And it's like, wait a tick. You just chewed me out in the waiting room. And now you're all, oh, it's no big deal. I didn't have anything else going on. When you just told me that I interrupted like your child's entire evening because they had football practice or this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, I can't do this. It got to the point where on my way to work, I would pull over and puke.
Oh,
That's how bad
you
it
didn't
got
like
to
it?
where I was like,
Oh,
I don't want to
man.
go anymore. Because again,
that's a bad job.
yeah, well, it's because, you know, I didn't enjoy being yelled at by other people with things that were out of my control. Like I'm very much a, hey, you let's go over the day. Here's what we got. And then after the very first appointment, we'd be running 30 minutes behind. And it would just segue throughout the day.
You had the double whammy of having people yell at you at work and situations not being the way you like them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
Right.
You know.
I'm a big believer in a schedule. And if somebody says, hey, be here at such and such time, have enough respect for them that you're there at that time, you're ready to go, and don't make people wait around. That's just me.
When I think about worst jobs, I have to go kind of two-tiered. The one outside radio and the one in this business. And I'll start with the one outside of radio first. When I was a teenager, I don't know, I might have been 17, whatever, something like that. I was working at a farm stand in New Jersey, Diamond Produce. I remember this. It was Diamond Produce. And it was, it was typical farm stand. They sell fruit and produce and everything, roadside, that sort of thing.
Right.
And, I mean, you're making next to nothing. I expect that. Okay. And, again, this was the 70s. So, but this guy that we were working for, unfortunately, I wasn't the only one, but for some reason, I took the brunt of it. Okay. And I was very sensitive then. I was very, like, now I would stand up to him. But I didn't then. And like I had like a plastic cup. Like, it was like, I don't have a cup here. I had like a plastic cup. And I had it with me at work to just, keep it up on the shelf if I want to fill it with water or something like that. And at one point, this crazy guy walks by and he goes, "Whose cup is this?" Well, it's mine. He goes, he takes it and he throws it. He goes, "Nobody brings cups to work." Like that. I go, okay.
So you were not supposed to be hydrated at work.
I don't know. Are you going to provide me a cup?
Are you having fun?
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't. So I only lasted there a short time. Okay. I just didn't like that situation. Okay. That was the radio job. I've told this story probably to both of you guys numerous times, but I was working great station in Concord, New Hampshire. It was a top 40 station. We owned the market. We were number one, blah, blah, blah. A really successful morning show. And I got an offer from Albany, New York, a company that owned a rival station in Concord where it was. And the skinny was, we think they offered him this high-paying gig to get him out of here. So,
Oh, okay.
Okay. But they threw more money at me than I'd ever seen in my life. And I was like, holy moly. Yeah. So, okay. I said to my wife, we're going to make the move to Albany, New York. She said, okay. And it killed me because, again, I really loved where I was.
Right.
I mean, like I knew people and great family atmosphere at the station and everything. Sure. But I was like, okay, well, we got a future to think about still, and we didn't have kids at that point or anything yet. Okay. So we moved to Albany, New York. I go to work at this station and everything that had made me successful at the station I left, this guy that I started working for was a lunatic.
Ooh.
He started trying to change everything I did, and I wasn't enjoying. I had a great co-host. She was really nice, and we still stay in touch, But I was not at all happy, and I was like, oh man, what did I do? I left for the money.
Yeah,
but it was terrible, and. So I didn't even last a year there. I was like, I'm getting out of here. This is, and it really, because you know how much I love this business.
Sure.
It stole my joy from that. I mean, and it took me a couple of years to get it back. I worked at some smaller stations again, worked my way back up just to be able to cleanse my palate.
Yeah.
So to speak. So that was my worst job in radio for sure. And I learned a valuable lesson from that too. I refer to it often as, that was my Albany moment.
Oh, okay.
And everybody has an Albany moment where maybe somebody offered you some money or whatever, but it wasn't a good fit. So
the job I had before I had this one, I worked at a spa and salon and I was their spa coordinator. It's kind of like a glorified receptionist. And it wasn't the people, it wasn't the job itself. It was that I realized, and I was there for 8 years, I'm not a desk job person. Like that was my first and only desk job where, like 7/10 of my day was spent at a desk. I was always trying to find something to do, like, laundry, keeping laundry going, going through cleaning the rooms, checking the bathrooms. Like being up and walking around was way more my jam than sitting at that desk and answering the phones. And again, I mean,
it's hard to see you doing that. Yeah.
The owner, she treated
even though that's how I met you.
Yeah. The owner, she treated me very well. I adore her, but it it was a good thing that our paths crossed because, I mean, I would have stayed because there wasn't anything wrong with it. I just, it wasn't.
But had you not been there, it's amazing how things happen.
Yeah.
Had you not been there the day I walked in,
If I would have had a day off,
you
or
would not be
something.
here. Yeah,
Isn't that
exactly.
crazy? Isn't that crazy
Yeah.
how fate
It's-
works like
it's
that?
crazy, yeah.
You know, I did think about it. And I didn't get paid for doing this. That's why it didn't initially pop in my mind. But I was like from like my cousin's farm, my grandpa's farm, I was like a farmhand kind of, but I didn't get paid for it, right? I mean, I got paid in food if you want to like,
I don't know if
like that
counts,
was
but-
exactly
okay. Yeah,
But like that would be, I guess, like the worst job I've ever had, and I only say that
But you
is
didn't
because
hate
like
it.
I didn't, and again, I still didn't hate it. I didn't enjoy the gruesomely long hours out in the sun.
Right.
I didn't enjoy the millions of corn that I had to shuck and the grubs that I had to cut out of the corn and cook and cut off the cob.
I think
that
what we
all
can take
sucks.
from this is that Jordan has lived an amazingly charmed employment life.
Yes. Yes.
That I have done. That I have done.
So we grew up with a great garden. It was large, and Dad would say, "Okay, we need you to go out and get some potatoes, or dig up potatoes, or go get the green beans and snap them and all that." And I remember once I was maybe 12, 13, and I was like, "Well, can I get an allowance for that?" And my dad's like, "Sure, I'll feed you breakfast, lunch, and dinner."
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like,
exactly.
okay.
Which
I can hear her dad saying
is
that. by the
some
way.
sort
Yeah.
of payment, right? I mean,
Right.
it is food, it is good, but then at the same time, like you're eating and you're like, I harvest most of this. What do you mean?
That means it tastes better.
Right,
Came
exactly.
from my hand.
Exactly. Yeah. At least you know it's going to be good.
Well,
right?
we're talking about worst jobs here and previous job experiences we have. But let's just change gears here for just a second. What would you be doing if you weren't in radio? What do you think? What career path might you take?
So
Let me start with Aaron.
let's do Aaron.
Yeah,
I
let's
have
do Aaron.
no
you,
idea.
you don't know yet. Okay, let's go to
Honestly,
Jordan.
I mean, I like animals. I mean,
You
but-
work with them.
but I couldn't. Yeah, no
Yeah,
kidding.
exactly.
But like as far as a vet, I don't know if I could. If somebody's dog was really sick, could I put that animal down?
Hard
Probably.
thing. Oh gosh.
So that's probably a hard pass. But I don't know if
Surely, though, there's like a, you know what I mean? Like maybe there's a specific, like you don't have to maybe do that, right? Like could you do other things besides that?
like
it might be expected of you though.
Maybe. I don't
I
know.
mean, could
That's
I?
tough. That's a tough
I don't know.
one.
Get a job at a zoo and take care of some sloths, like hug them all day or something.
Oh, Aaron,
I'd
we're
be
gonna have
good
to
at
put this
that.
sloth down.
No, no.
Be like, sorry, Janice gets to do that in 30 minutes,
That's
not
right.
me,
We'll
not
wait till
Aaron.
Janice gets
not
to do
Aaron.
Janice, this is the one who does that. Hey, Janice, come here.
Yeah.
She's got a syringe.
Oh, it's terrible.
God, that's awful.
Sorry, that's terrible. I don't think that.
All right, we're gonna go with animals for Aaron in some capacity.
I'm guessing.
How about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'd be okay with that.
You guys know I'm a nerd, and if I wasn't doing
I would be
this,
the captain of the USS
I do-
Enterprise.
is that option? Yeah.
nerdery will be coming on.
I didn't know they were hiring.
Yeah.
Okay,
Captain Kevin.
Casual-
Commander Hilly at your service.
Casual Captain Kevin.
you know when I was in CBing, when I used to do CBs like in the 70s, CB radio, I was Captain Irish.
Captain
that was my
Irish?
handle,
Wow.
Captain Irish.
Bring
But
it
no,
back.
Wow. Also
I
doubles as his wrestling name.
I like helping people figure things out, like, computers and online, whatever. Just I like being able to help people do that. So maybe sometimes I thought maybe like a help desk type situation might be good. But then it's also I talked to a cousin of mine who does that because the only thing with that is you're under a deadline. So you
Yeah.
can't spend a long, long time with somebody, even if they don't understand it.
Yeah.
You're
You
a
gotta
Chatty McGee.
move right, exactly. You got to move on to the next person. So I don't know if that would be a good thing.
I'd be sitting there, I'd be like,
But-
ma'am, is it on? Did you plug it
Have
in?
you plugged it in?
Kevin loves helping people unless it's me because I have some sort of technology mishap at least once, twice a week.
Erin is
And when I'm
technology
like,
challenged,
hey,
but
you
we
got
love her
a second,
anyway.
Hilly, can you look at this? And I'll hear the old man Hilly. And I'm like, oh, okay, well,
here's the thing, and I've done this before too. If I'm showing you, if I'm showing you how to do something, like I want you to take this, click over here, and then
Sure.
slide. Sometimes I know I'm thinking to myself, It's just easier if I do it myself right now,
Oh, yeah,
okay?
no, you just move over. Just move over.
Could you just give me your mouse, okay? And I know, like, you're supposed to be learning.
Because I'll be sitting there
but
like, where's that? It's up in the... Just give me your mouse.
Just let me do it. Let me take over.
I don't mind. It's going to be faster. That's how I think sometimes. We have like a great engineering crew here, and one of our guys, Skylar, he's terrific. And I swear, do I call him every day with a question?
Well, Skylar's probably more IT. I mean, he puts together websites, and he's
we have
way
website
smarter
changes that have happened
than we are. Yeah,
we're trying to learn to. But I swear, every day, doot, 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 he answers. He goes, "Hello," and I go, "Dude, I've called you so much, I don't even have to look up your extension now.
Yeah,
I know
we know
it. Okay,
we know it.
But
We
he's
know it.
so." He said, "I'll be right up to help," and he's like, and he
Every
does.
time,
and
every
he
time.
never
With
makes
a big
me feel
old
like,
smile on his face
Are you
every time.
bothering me again? I never.
he doesn't to your face.
We've had talks with him.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
got
Skylar's a
post-it
good guy.
notes. He goes, Kevin's going to call at about 9:15.
Yeah, they're downstairs betting on
There
it.
he is.
Yeah, they're
Like-
Philly.
Like clockwork. All right. So, what would you be doing, Jordan? What do you think?
I would probably be an English teacher, actually, funny enough. Yeah. Yeah, so in
Wow.
college, I was like super into English. I actually almost double majored. So I majored in communications with a minor in English. Almost got a double major in English as well. I needed like one extra class.
So you think teaching?
I don't know.
Like-
I've heard you pronounce words before. I don't know
okay,
about some
listen.
of this.
What was the word?
Yeah, I know.
What was it?
Oh, gosh.
Volt.
I didn't
there's
say
been
I
a
could
couple.
speak English well.
It is my native language,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I can't speak it.
No, but mine was like more like the literature side of like the English, right?
Sure.
What comes out of
I don't care
electricity?
about the
Votes.
grammar.
Votes.
I don't care about all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I like the actual. You get down, you break it, like you dive
derivation
into an
of the
epic,
word
yeah,
and
that
where-
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
you know
I
what
love
mean?
that, yeah.
Or just the study of literature in general, like
Right.
of all the great writers, like
Ooh.
John Milton, dude, great.
Ooh, if I could just sit in a room and read a book with a bunch of people, I'd be okay with that. Can you do that as a job?
Just read a book.
You know what?
Just
There
read
are
books?
professional readers.
mean, I'd be okay
Proofreaders.
with that.
Librarian,
Yeah.
it comes to mind.
I might be good at that.
Right? Be the head librarian. Just be
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Reading. Everyone else, shh.
That's right. Reading all the ghost stories.
I also wanted to be a lawyer too, funny enough.
Really?
Yeah, that's another thing
I can
that
see Jordan J in front
I
of
was
the
going to be an
jury.
English teacher, a lawyer. I kind of just fell into like the radio. Like
Why
just all of a
don't
sudden-
you get back on that
flowered
horse
and loved
so Hilly and I have somebody to call when we have mishaps?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we understand that the knife was found in the man's hand, plunged into the victim's chest. But don't draw conclusions from that.
I know it looks like he did it, but I promise
I'd be like, Hilly
he
was
did.
just supposed to be spreading some jelly. I don't know how it ended up there.
Well, share your worst job story with us. What was your the job that you had at one time in your life? You might have been a teenager. You might have been older. It might be now. You might be in your worst job right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Or, if there's, tell us what you would be doing if you weren't in the job that you're at.
Your dream
Like, yeah.
occupation, maybe. Yeah. So, Cat Country at mailzimmer.com. There you see it. Mm-hmm. And we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
So, that is
Until next
another
week.
edition of the KATcast.
You've been listening to the KATcast, your weekly dose of fun from the staff you know and love on 94.3 Cat Country. Click subscribe and never miss an episode. Share it on social media and tell your friends with 94.3 Cat Country.